Good morning, everyone. In Unit 3, now we are going to learn the second topic, that is architecture and requirements. In this chapter, we are going to learn about all these things. What are the things? How can you gather requirement documents? What is this ASR, which is nothing but architecturally significant requirements? Okay, so how can we select these requirements from the documents? So the different ways we are going to study. First one is through the documents, and the second one is interviewing the stakeholders. Stakeholders are nothing but the users who are going to use the software. And we are going to understand the business goals based on that the requirements are going to be collected. And the special way utility tree, how it is going to be utilized, okay, from one person to another. Though that tree is going to, through the tree we are going to capture the requirements, and by combining all the methods together also the requirements can be collected. So these are the different ways we are going to use to collect the requirements, that means architecturally significant requirements. Okay, before that we must know what is requirements. So requirements are nothing but the informations which is collected from the users, right? So architectures exist to build a business that satisfies the requirements. So they are going to build the system. That system is going to satisfy all the users' requirements. But an architect will not create all the requirements which is given by the user. They will identify which are the requirements are important, which are giving more effect. So that is only an architecturally significant requirement is a requirement will have a deep effect. Profound is nothing but a deep effect on the architecture. Through this requirements, it is going to be built like that. So some important requirements are going to be collected. So that is called as architecturally significant requirements. So how this ASR and requirement documents will be. So it is a look for the candidate which is going to be collected, the ASR requirement documents or in the user stories. Okay, it should be the documents. Next, it is not usually the case. Okay, why it is not usually the case? That is only we are going to learn here in the next one. What is this? Don't get your hopes up. See, when we are collecting the requirements from the user, we may have different kinds of doubts and ideas. So first one is about don't create and maintain a detailed high quality requirement documents. So some of the projects will not have the detailed high quality documents. So the standard requirements will have the more attention for the functionality than the quality attributes. Okay, for example, if you're going to pay the fee, means paying the fee is an important one. So how this function is going to work in the system is not going to give much effect. So the quality attribute is nothing but paying the fee, the amount which is going to be stored in the system. So the same way, these requirement specification will not affect the architecture. Okay, the affect it will not going to give any effect on the architecture. And no architect will not sit and wait until the requirements are finished before starting the work. So here what the architect has to do, they have to begin the work still the requirements have been collected. Okay, they will not wait till the last minute. Next one, the quality attributes which are collected will be having the modular structure, and they will exhibit the high usability, and the system has to meet users performance expectations. Okay, so this architect is not even best requirements document. The architect, that means the ASR document from the business goal, will also not be the best one. It could be the development organization itself. So the development qualities should also maybe out of the scope. So sniffing out of ASR. What is the sniffing out of ASR? That is This architecturally significant requirements will have a decisions category how the requirements have to be. For example, allocation responsibilities means they will have the evolution of the responsibilities, users' roles, and how the system is going to work, what are the major process, and what are the packages they are having. Coordination model is telling about how the time and how are they going to work, how they are going to complete it. So different models are there, how are they going to be coordinated together to bring out a best project. And the external elements like that, if they are going to use the sensors or the protocols or some of the devices or middlewares, means how it is going to be work it out. And evolution requirements on the list, evolution is nothing but how it is going to produce the best one. That next one is the data model, okay, how the model is going to work and how the different kinds of resources are going to be managed and how the architectural elements are going to be mapped with other things and how the decisions are going to be bind with the time and the technology, okay, different types of technology. This is telling about this sniffing out of ASR. The next point is, already we studied the ASR is collected in different ways. First way we have seen that through the documents. This is the second way, through the stakeholders. Already I told you stakeholders are nothing but the users. So when you are saving your project, it should be have the question answers detailed, and they, through the question answer session, they have to start design the work. So what they have to do, the stakeholders often will not have the idea about the question answers what they want in the system. So what they can do, they can say what are they going to do, how the system is should be like that. And based on that, some of the requirements will be very difficult to satisfy. Some of the things architects will have very good ideas about this question answers, and that will be the reasonable way to provide the requirements. Next, interviewing the relevant stakeholders, that is the surest way to learn what they know and need. Relevant stakeholders are nothing but the stakeholders which are going to use the software in the second way, okay. This is the gathering ASR from stakeholders. The next one is, the stakeholders who are giving this answers during the question answer session will have the architectural drivers, and this question answer scenario that for the stakeholders will be prioritized, okay. The user who are going to use first will be given the first preference for the question answer scenario, okay. This information can be used to refine the system and the software requirements, and to understand and clarify the system architectural drivers, and it provide the subsequent made for the design decisions, and it can be the good guide for the prototypes and the simulations, and it will influence the order in which architecture is developed. So this is about gathering ASR from stakeholders. Next one is the next way is a workshop, that is quality attribute workshop. What is this quality attribute workshop? It is a facilitated, stakeholder focused method to generate and prioritize and refine the quality attribute scenarios before the software architecture is completed. So it is the facilitated, stakeholder focused method, okay. And this method on system level concerns and specifically the role that software will play the system. It's a very important focused method. This method is having different types of steps. Some 8 steps we are having. We'll see one by one. First step is the presentation and introductions. So this workshop will facilitate and describe the motivation of, and it will explain each step of the method. Next one is the business or mission presentation. The stakeholder will be presenting their business concerns behind the system and the system's business context and the functional requirements, constraints, all the things which they are needed for that particular system will be explained. And the quality attributes will also be explained in the next step. Okay. The third step is the architectural plan presentation. So based on the requirements which is given by the stakeholders, the architect will have a idea how they can present to the system. So that plan will be developed. So this will allow the stakeholders to know current architectural thinking to extend that it exists. Okay. So based on that, the stakeholders can identify whether this system will be satisfy their needs or not. Next step is the identification of architectural drivers. So here it will facilitates and it will share the list of architectural drivers which is assembled during step 2 and step 3, and asked the stakeholders for the clarifications, additions, deletions and corrections. So first they are giving their ideas. Who are giving their ideas? Stakeholders. Based on the stakeholders presentation and ideas, in the step 3, architect is presenting a plan. In this plan, whether they want to add anything extra or the unwanted things has to be deleted, and the one which is developed is having any corrections has to be done in this fourth step. Okay, so this idea will give the distilled list of the architectural drivers, means which are the necessity things and which has to be developed. The quality attributes will be get ready. Next one is the scenario brainstorming. Here, the stakeholder will express their scenario by representing their concerns with respect to the system. Next, here facilitators will ensure that this scenario explicit the stimulus and response. Here, the facilitators are other stakeholders can make sure whether this system is explicit all their needs. And then this facilitators can also ensure that representative scenario which is exist in the architectural driver. Okay, so this is called as scenario brainstorming, which is nothing but that particular system is going to be explained with the stimulus. Okay, explicit stimulus. Next one is the scenario consolidation. Once the system has been get ready by the architect, the same similar scenarios will be consolidated, which is where the reasonable. Some of the things will be omitted, some things has to be deleted, like that. Particular scenario has to be chosen and that has to give their idea. So finally, this consolidation votes will be given by the stakeholders and it will spread across several scenarios by expressing their same concern. That is, they are going to tell that the system is going to be developed, like that it is going to be expressed with everybody and it can give their consolidation. Next, scenario prioritization, which is giving about which has to be developed first by allocating to the each stakeholder according to the number of votes which is given by the stakeholders. The prioritization for the scenario will be done. Next, scenario refinement. Again, the top scenarios are refined and elaborated, and the facilitators put their scenarios in the sixth part according to the source, stimulus, architect, environment, response and response measure. This we have studied in the previous chapter itself. So based on the 6-part scenario, they are going to identify it. This is the business goal. That means non-architectural solutions are going to be there, and by giving the quality attributes, the architecture is going to be developed for the system. So some of the business goals may lead to the quality attribute requirements which lead to the architectures, which is not directly architectural decisions. It may lead to non-architectural decisions. If there is no quality attributes, it may not be the non-architectural solutions. So with the quality attributes, it will be giving the architecture. This is the meaning of this picture. Next, what are the different categories of business goals to aid in the elicitation? So what are the different categories we can have? We can have the growth and continuity of the organization contributing. Next one is the financial objective has to be met, and personal objectives, and meeting the responsibility to the employees, responsibility to the society, And like that we are having some 11 business goals. Okay, all these business goals has to be satisfied. Next, expressing business goals. So here the business goal scenario is 7 parts. First one is the goal source, goal subject, goal object, environment, and then goal measure, pedigree and value. Okay, first one is the source. From where we are going to get it? From the people or the return architects which is giving the goal. And what is the subject of this? The stakeholders are going to use this. So the stakeholders who want the goal and wish to be true, they are going to give their ideas. So each stakeholder might be an individual or the organization itself. They can be the single person or the organization. Next, what is the object? The entities to which the goal applies. Where are we going to apply it? Next one is the environment. The context for this goal has to be set, and the environment can be either legal or competitive, customer or technological environment. Next, the business goal has to be articulated by this goal source. And what is the measure of this? The testable measurement will determine how the goals have been achieved. So the goal measure, how it can be done by using the time component and the starting time by the goal and the ending time by the goal which has to be achieved. Next, pedigree and value. This will give the degree of the confidence of the person who started the goal, and it will give the goal's vertability and the value. Okay. Next one is the PALM method. What is the PALM method? It is a method for eliciting business goals. What is PALM? Pedigreed Attribute Elicitation Method. So it is a 7-step method. Normally it is carried out over a day or a half in a workshop. It has to be attended by the architects and the stakeholders who can speak their relevant business goals. So here the architect is going to develop the system. The stakeholders are going to give their ideas. These two people has to speak with each other about their business goals. So the 7-step methods. The first step is the identification of potential quality attributes from business goals. From each important goal scenario, the participants describe the quality attribute, how they can achieve it. Okay. Next, assignment to pedigree to existing quality attribute drivers. That means for each architectural driver, they have to identify the business goals it is there to support. And if it is not like that, that's recorded and a finding. They have to record it and they have to find it later. Otherwise, the pedigree by asking the source of quantitative part. Next, exercise conclusion, review of results, next steps, participation, feedbacks has to be applied. So first one is the overview of presentation. Second one is the business drivers presentation, where they are going to give the project management and the customer organization and how are they going to develop the organization has to be done. Next one is the architecture drivers presentation. Here the architect is going to give the quality attribute requirements. Next one is the business goal elicitation, where the elaborated expressed scenarios are going to be represented, and it has to be consolidated among the duplications, and the participants has to be prioritized. These are the 7-step method, that is PALM steps. Next one is the by using the utility tree. So it should have the following characteristics: profound impact on this architecture, high business mission value, and it has a way to record, and it has to establishes the priority. Okay, so we will see first character. It is a profound impact on the architecture, which have the deep impact of the architecture. It is going to give the important architecture, and it has to have the high business and the mission value, which has to be satisfied by the requirements. Next, it is a way to record ASR all in one place. So all the records, all the requirements are going to be recorded in one place, and it establishes the priority. The priority establishes means it is impact on architecture and business or mission value, and this is captured as scenarios and it is the root of tree is the placeholder called utility. And second level of tree contains the question answer categories. Third level contains the refine, and tree refines and those categories. So tree is nothing but level will be there, right? So the different levels are going to be this one. So first one is the requirements root. Okay, second one is the question answer categories, and third level is the refinement. So utility tree example, here high, medium, low is there according to the requirements. Here it is the quality attribute, this is the attribute refinement, this is the ASR, which is nothing but architecturally significant requirement. So performance, if you take, here transaction response time is there. So the user updates patient account in the response of a change of address notification while the user is under peak load and the transaction completes 0.75 seconds. Whether it has to be given with high or medium. So high, okay, one user account is going to be updated. Here we have to give the address notification while the system is, this address is very important, so it has to be given as a high importance, like that each and every requirements we can go through it. So it is performance. If you come to usability, how the user is going to use, okay, so according to that whether it has to be given as a high priority or medium priority, okay, that is called as the utility tree. So first there will be the tree, and the tree we will be having the question answer categories, like that all these things will be there. So which has to be given high priority, which has to be given medium priority, according to that it has to be developed. So next step is the question answer or question answer refinement without any ASR, it not necessary. Okay, so here the attention should be paid to searching the unrecorded ASR. The second step is the ASR that rate high and high rating that once deserve it and most attention. Here for this category most attention should be paid. Okay, and they can review the utility tree to make sure their concerns are addressed. And the last one is the tying the methods together. Tying means combining. So we have seen different methods. We are collecting the requirements and we are interviewing the stakeholders, and we are going to have the quality attribute workshops, and we have the POM method and the utility method. So compare with all the things, how can we going to use? If you would like to use ASR according to the prioritization, it can be used. Otherwise, any one of the approach can be used. If nothing is captured in the business goal system, you can use POM method. That is also not possible means this quality attribute workshop can be used. If it is not proper, you can use any this utility tree. Okay, so by blend all the methods together, POM is a subroutine call and quality from a quality attribute workshop. So while you are using this quality attribute workshop, you can use this POM method also. Okay, so this quality attribute utility tree is a repository for the scenarios produced by the quality attribute workshop. So any one of the approach can be picked and it can be used. So what we studied so far, we have studied so far about the requirements, how the requirements can be captured by interviewing the stakeholders, conducting a quality attribute workshop, and mindful business goals of the organization. It can be expressed as a common and it can be represented as scenarios. While it is going to be represented as a scenarios, it is going to be structured felicitation method called POM method. And it can use the useful presentation of the quality attribute utility tree, and it can capture the requirement structured form, and the scenarios can be prioritized. The prioritized set defines the marching orders of as an architect. So with this the chapter is get over. So clear about this, we'll study the next topic in the next class.